Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday, December 10th, and believe it or not, 2 weeks from today, tonight, Christmas Eve. I'm Tom Zuba, and the first book I wrote is called Permission to Mourn, A New Way to Do Grief. I really do believe there's a new way to do grief, which will create a new way for us to do life, which, if you are open to it, if you are willing, will create a new way to do the holidays. I am going to move my camera a little bit here so you can get the full picture of where I am. I believe that we can do more than just cope with or survive the holidays. I believe that words have power. I believe that words have energy to create our experiences. And I also know that that's a novel concept for a lot of people, particularly folks that are learning how to live with the death of someone that they love. If you don't know me, if you stumbled upon this either live or via the recording, I want you to know that I am living life with the death of my 18-month-old daughter, Erin, who died really, really suddenly in 1990. I am living with the death of my 43-year-old wife, Trish, who died equally as suddenly on New Year's Day of 1999. And I'm living with the death of my 13-year-old son, Rory, who died of brain cancer. He had a glioblastoma in 2005. So I know a thing or two about death. I know a thing or two about grief. I promise you, like most human beings, I did grief the old way. I suppressed, I repressed, I denied all of these feelings and emotions that were arising. I pretended that I was fine because I thought that that's what everybody wanted. Everyone wanted me to go back to the way it used to be. And what I discovered is that created pain on top of pain on top of pain on top of pain. And I finally came to the point, and my hope is that you will come to this point much sooner than I did, that I realized that I've suffered enough. I've suffered enough. And my hunch is that you have suffered enough as well. We've suffered enough. We didn't come to the planet to suffer. That's not why I was born. Do you think that that's why you were born? Did you come to planet Earth to suffer the rest of your days? My hunch is the answer to that is no, that's not why I came. So as I said, I do believe that words have power. I very intentionally decided to use these words, a new way to do grief, as the subtitle to my first book. I literally mean that I am suggesting there's a new way. I believe that we as human beings are much more powerful than we realize. I believe that our thoughts, the words that we speak, the actions that we take, they all play a hand in creating our reality. I don't believe that we are victims. Remember, I have 2 dead kids and a dead wife. I'm not a victim. I'm a powerful co-creator of my life. And what I'm suggesting, based on my own personal experience, that regardless of where you are on your journey, regardless of what event or events may have triggered grief in your life, that starting today, starting right now, if you enter the present moment, if you allow yourself to be conscious, to connect with what is happening here and now, if you're willing to do that, then you can make choices about who you want to become and what you want to create. Again, regardless of the story, the circumstances, the events that you're bringing to this moment, you get to decide who you want to be tomorrow, who you want to be Sunday evening, who you want to be a week from today, and who you want to be on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Most people create from a subconscious level. Most people sleepwalk through their lives. When something catastrophic happens, when someone we love dies, when we lose our job, when we have to close our business because of the pandemic, when the dreams that we held for our life are not going to be realized, they're not coming true, it wakes us up. It gets our attention. It brings us here and now. The present moment is the point of power. So today, right now, I can literally decide, what do I want to create for my Christmas Eve experience? Who do I want to be on Christmas Day? Is that hard to do? It actually isn't. I think what's harder is to believe that it's possible. What's difficult is to believe that I'm not a victim, that life is actually happening for me, not to me. Particularly if you're sitting there and saying, yeah, but my son died 3 months ago, or I'm coming up on the 1st anniversary of my husband's death, or my sister, my mother is lying in a hospital with COVID, or in June, my father died from COVID. How could life possibly be happening for me? It feels like it's happening to me. It feels like this is a cruel, painful, chaotic, effed up world. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. In this moment is where the power lies. So I want to read from my first book. I want to read a little bit from the last chapter. It's chapter 22. My hunch is, if you're like me, there are many voices inside of your head, and there are many external voices. And the challenge, the opportunity, the invitation is to decide, which voice am I going to listen to? That decision will determine literally what it is you're going to create for your life, what it is you're going to create over the next 2 weeks. The voice that you choose to listen to will determine what your Christmas Eve is like, what your Christmas Day is like, how you're going to end 2020, how you're going to greet 2021. You get to decide which voice you listen to. You get to decide which voice you make room for, which one you feed and nourish and pay attention to, which voice you encourage to grow stronger and louder and more influential. You get to decide which voice you say yes to. Is peace possible? Can I move into gratitude? Can I create happiness, moments of happiness for me, for my family on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day? You get to decide which voice you say yes to, not once, but over and over and over again. It begins with setting the intention. It begins with setting the intention to say yes. It begins with creating a vision. What do you want Christmas Eve to look like? What do you want Christmas Day to look like? Allow yourself the freedom to daydream about that. Literally, who do you want to be with this Christmas Eve? Who do you want to be with this Christmas Day? If you're not physically able to be with these people, can you text them? Can you call them? Can you Zoom with them or FaceTime with them? Decide today. Be proactive. What do you want to eat on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day? What clothes do you want to wear? How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel peaceful? Do you want to feel content? Are you willing to reach a little bit and feel happiness? Or are you going to slam the door shut and say, it's going to suck, it's going to be miserable, I'm going to be all alone, nobody cares about me? You can create that too. I don't believe there's a right way to spend Christmas Eve or a wrong way. You have complete freedom. You can create whatever you want. But as I said earlier, I've suffered enough. My hunch is you have too. I'm not going to consciously create pain. I'm not going to consciously create lack. I'm not going to marinate in fear. I'm not going to do that consciously. I'm going to consciously create something else. Can you picture yourself today on December 10th? Can you picture how you want to be on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day? If you can picture that, get a pen, get a piece of paper, write it down. This Christmas Eve, this is how I want to feel. This is who I want to hear from. But I'm not going to risk not hearing from them. So I'm going to be the one to reach out. I'm going to reach out to my sister. I'm going to reach out to my aunt. I'm going to reach out to my brother. I'm going to make sure that even though the kids, because of the virus, can't be with us, we are going to Zoom. I'm going to make that happen. I'm not going to wait around for someone else to take care of me. Is that easy? No, it's not easy. It's not easy. But you've already walked through fire. Is it possible? Is it possible for you to create a Christmas Eve that feeds your soul, that lifts you up, that helps you remember that you are more powerful than you might think you are right now? It is. It is. Starts with intention. Next step is vision. Can you envision it? Will you allow yourself to feel what that vision feels like? So you can literally raise your vibrational energy. Like energy attracts like energy. If from today, December 10th, to December 23rd, you marinate in lack and fear and loneliness and not enough, and I'm the victim and life isn't fair, I promise you, that is exactly what you will create. That is exactly what you will draw to you. Self-fulfilling prophecy. There is enough time. We have 2 weeks to shift our perception, to create a miracle. What have you got to lose, really? Why not experiment with life and say, a Zuba guy's got 2 dead kids and he's got to do it. If he can do it, I can do it. I'm going to try it. Intention, vision, feel what it feels like, and take concrete action steps. I have 2 guests that I'm going to introduce you to today, both of whom are going to share with us concrete, tangible steps that they have taken in order to create a Christmas, a holiday season, a Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate. Concrete, tangible steps that they have taken. They're ordinary people. If they've taken these steps, so can you, so can you, so can you. As I said, I believe we've each suffered enough. I do not for a minute believe that's why we came to the planet, to suffer. It's okay. It is okay to experiment with life. It is okay to do life a new way, to do the holidays a new way. And it's okay to say yes. It's okay to say yes to life. It's okay to say yes to love. It's okay to say yes to yourself. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to say, I'm going to create a holiday for me. I'm going to create a holiday season that I look forward to, that lifts me up, that raises my spirits, that feeds my soul. I'm going to take care of me. So my first guest, who I have never met before, but who I've communicated with, is Marge Paradise. I'm excited to welcome her, and I'm excited to chat with her. Hi, Marge.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi there.
It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. I hope you're having a good meeting so far.
Yes, thank you for giving me a little chunk of time out of your day.
You bet. You bet.
So you are a school psychologist.
Yes, I am. 28
and
years.
You're also connected to a hospice.
Yeah, as a volunteer, I run a couple of groups for them. Yes. And I'm going to be helping lead a group in January with another hospice worker on healing from grief, but mostly connected to lost to an addiction.
So how did you find me?
I know. I wish I could pinpoint. Like it because it's been a few years, and I have your books, and I've scoured through them, and I did your September series, and I can't remember exactly when, but I'm sure I was searching for reading materials, healing materials, and it has to be 2-3 years. Yeah. Um, and then when I bought your first and second book, I started using some of the readings with the group that I facilitate at hospice, and it's just been amazing. Like your words and your idea of healing, not staying stuck, but setting an intention to heal. I mean, for me, that was a huge turn in my thinking and my healing. And for all the people that I work with, I can't tell you how many times people will say, it was that switched it for me. And I love that. Yeah. So I don't know. It's been a few years, but
So I'm excited because
you froze.
I'm excited. I thought it would be out before the end of this, very soon. Workbook that's going to be you will be able to use with groups and go chapter by chapter by chapter and really, really dive.
That's excellent. You froze on me. I can't hear you, Tom. And your picture froze. Oh, there you are. Now I hear you. I hear you.
Technical.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you able to hear? I'm not sure what happened. So you heard me talk about the workbook.
A little bit. So you said it's coming out.
Yeah, technical difficulties like CNN and MS.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's happening.
Glitches. You said about a workbook.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yes.
We're in and out.
Right, in and out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we're free. Well, this is frustrating. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. There, I see. Oh, you froze again.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll share with us how you use these 10 tips that I created with your hospice group and what the response was.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So are you there? Very good. I'm going to share, and hopefully you're hearing me. So we meet once a month, and it was this past Tuesday evening, and we had to go to Zoom last month because we ran out of outdoor places and barns and other things like that, places to meet. So we went back to Zoom, which I always hesitate. It's hard to feel connected. So I read the first 3, and actually what led into it was a perfect lead in, and she didn't even know she was doing it. But one of the members in our group we had 3 new people join us. And so they had their stories to tell. We opened that up if they want to. And one of our members who've been attending for probably 3 years now said, I really have found Tom Zuba's books to be helpful. So I was like celebrating, because that's exactly where I was heading, to use the 10 tips and then end with the candlelight, the simple candlelight ceremony. So people were asking, oh yeah, Marge, you talk a lot about those books. And so I happened to have it and I pulled it up. And so she said she really led some of our newer grievers to look for your materials and to go slowly. And then I encouraged them, right, go slowly, but go deep with your books, because someone might look at it and say, well, that's an easy read. But I have found over the years that I've been using them that go slow, but go deep with the books, and journal along with them and do other things with them. And I often use them as exercises in our sessions. So I read the first 3 and I stopped because they're so full of the first 3 are so full of information, and I could hear chuckling. And so I was so curious. And one of our youngest members who lost her brother, I always say lost, and I correct myself, whose brother had died, was laughing. And she said, we are doing that. I love that. And I said, what is it that you love so much? And she said, under number 3, where you talk about using photos of your beloved as place cards, she completely thought that was an amazing idea. And one of the reasons that she was so excited about it was because she feels like people don't talk about her brother. They don't bring up Brandon's name. They're afraid, to discuss it. And she was so excited because she said, if his picture is on their placemat, I have brought him to the table and they're going to have to acknowledge him. And we're going to talk about, remember, placemat, the place cards. Yeah, she loved that idea. And I was so excited to hear, and she was sitting right next to her mother, and her mother was just holding her head, because that was a little bold, but I think they're going to do it for Christmas dinner. And then I finished with the rest of them. We had discussion about them. People reacted positively to pulling some of those ideas into their coming holiday traditions. We talked a lot about, whether you tweak things a little bit, you do something completely different, and the permission to be able to do that, and not just do things the way other people think you should, and how you repeatedly give them permission to do what they need to do to heal. And it doesn't have to be trying to make all the old traditions work. And then we ended with the candlelight ceremony, and that was a little tricky on Zoom, but I had emailed parts of them to different people and asked them if they wanted to have a candle there. They could, but that we were going to be lighting 4 as well, so they would see them on the screen. And so that kind of felt like we were coming together a bit, because there were different people doing the readings. And so that's how we ended it. We just encouraged everybody to not wait till the next meeting, but actually keep in touch and reach out to others, especially with the pandemic issues. So I hope some of that came through. Fear that we froze again, that we lost one another, but I'll stay on for another minute. Then I have to sign off. But if anyone's out there hearing me, and I'm wishing you peace in the holiday season as well. It's been 5 years for me. It'll be 6 in April. And even though I say I've had a lot of losses before my daughter died in 2015, Coming back from this one was the hardest, but finding Tom's resources and just thinking that way and being intentional and learning and putting those things in practice has really helped me get on the right path, I believe. So I'm going to leave the meeting, and I hope that part of this was heard. I'm happy to meet again, share things. I'm by no means an expert. This is a personal journey for me too, but I like to share what I'm learning.